algebra, algorithm, alcohol, magazine, cotton, lemon, zero, guitar, admiral, tariff. Just good old English words that sound like someone in London or New York invented them, right? Except every single one of them is Arabic. And it's not just English. Spanish has over 4,000 words from Arabic, nearly 8% of its entire vocabulary. Portuguese, Italian, French, German, all of them are loaded with Arabic words. There's an Arabic word hiding in virtually every European language, and most people have no idea that it's there. And the reason isn't some small footnote from history. The reason is one of the most underrated stories in human civilization. For roughly 600 years, while Europe was stumbling through the Dark Ages, the Islamic world was building the most advanced civilization on the planet. They were inventing algebra, mapping the stars, advancing medicine, and perfecting chemistry. And when Europe finally woke up and started catching up, they didn't just borrow the ideas. They borrowed the words. And those words are right in your mouth, right now. Welcome to the Learn Language Show. Let me show you exactly how deep this goes. To understand how Arabic words ended up in European languages, you need to understand one thing. There was a time when Arabic was the language of the world's most advanced civilization. From the 8th to the 14th century, a period known as the Islamic Golden Age, the Arab world led the planet in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, chemistry, philosophy, and engineering. While much of Europe had lost access to the great works of ancient Greece and Rome, Arabic scholars were not only preserving them, they were building on them. They translated Aristotle, Ptolemy, and Galen into Arabic. Then they went further. They invented new fields of study. They built libraries that dwarfed anything in Europe. The House of Wisdom in Baghdad alone held hundreds of thousands of manuscripts. All of this was done in Arabic. So, when European scholars in the 11th, 12th, and 13th centuries started trying to catch up, when they started translating these groundbreaking works from Arabic into Latin, they didn't just translate the ideas. Many of the words had no Latin equivalent. So they just kept the Arabic word. And those Arabic words passed from Latin into French, into Spanish, into English, into German, into virtually every European language. That's how Arabic got it. Not through invasion alone, through knowledge. But knowledge wasn't the only channel. There's another path, and it's even more direct. In 711 CE, Moorish armies from North Africa crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and conquered most of the Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain and Portugal. And they stayed for nearly 800 years. The territory they controlled was called Al-Andalus, and at its peak, it was one of the most culturally advanced regions on Earth. Cordoba, the capital, had paved streets, street lighting, running water, and a library with over 400,000 books at the time when the largest library in Christian Europe held maybe a few hundred. Arabic became the language of administration, science, trade, and high culture across much of Spain. Christian, Jews, and Muslims lived side by side, and many Christians spoke Arabic fluently. They were called Mozarabs. And when the Christian kingdoms gradually reconquered the peninsula over the following centuries, a process called the Reconquista, they didn't throw out Arabic vocabulary. They kept it because the Arabic words were simply better for many concepts. They had no alternatives. This is why Spanish has over 4,000 words of Arabic origin. Words if you speak Spanish every single day. Almohada, pillow. Azúcar, sugar. Aceite, oil. Aldea, village. Alfombra, carpet. Ojalá, hopefully, which comes directly from inshallah, meaning God willing. Portuguese absorbed similar quantities, and from Spain and Portugal, as those empires spread across the Americas, Africa, and Asia, Arabic words traveled even further, hitchhiking inside colonial languages to places Arabic had never touched directly. Now here's something that, once you notice it, you will never unnotice. How many English words start with AL? Algebra, algorithm, alcohol, alchemy, almanac, alcove, alkali. That al is the Arabic definitive article. It means the. That's it. Al, the. So algebra is literally al-jabr, the reunion of broken parts. Alcohol comes from al-kahul, the kol, originally referring to a fine metallic powder, later applied to distilled substances. Alchemy is alchemia, believed to come from either the Egyptian art or the art of transmutation. Almanac is al-manakh, the climate. You have been saying the in Arabic your entire life, and you never knew. And it goes beyond al. Magazine comes from makhazin, meaning storehouses. Tariff comes from tarifa, a notification of fees. Admiral comes from Amir al-Bahar, commander of the seas. Check, as in a bank check, from stock, a written document. These aren't obscure academic words. These are the words you use every week, possibly every day. And they're Arabic. But the single biggest Arabic contribution to the European civilization isn't a word. It's a system. Look at this. These are all called Arabic numerals, and you use them every single day. Every receipt, every phone number, every math equation, every clock. Arabic numerals. Before Arabic mathematics reached Europe in the 12th and 13th centuries, Europeans used Roman numerals. Now, try multiplying 387 by 43 using Roman numerals. Seriously, this times this. It's practically impossible. Arabic numerals, which were originally developed in India and transmitted to Europe through Arabic scholars, revolutionized European mathematics, science, commerce, and engineering. Without this system, the scientific revolution may not have happened, or at least not when it did. And it came with a word that might be the most important Arabic contribution of all: zero. Safir in Arabic, meaning empty. It became zafirum in Latin, zero in Italian, and zero in English. The concept of zero, a number representing nothing, was revolutionary. It made modern mathematics possible. Europe got the tool that built modern science, and the word for it from Arabic. Now, Spain was the biggest gateway for Arabic into European languages, but it wasn't the only one. In the 12th century, the city of Toledo in Spain became the center of what historians call the Great Translation Movement. Scholars from across Europe traveled to Toledo to translate Arabic scientific and philosophical texts into Latin. These translations included works on astronomy, medicine, optics, mathematics, and philosophy. Many of them Arabic translations of ancient Greek texts that Europe had lost centuries earlier. Through Toledo, Arabic vocabulary entered Latin. And from Latin, it spread into every European language. Words for scientific instruments, chemical processes, astronomical objects, and mathematical concepts, many of them Arabic, became standard vocabulary across the continent. The Crusades also played a role. European crusaders who traveled to the Middle East between the 11th and 13th centuries encountered an Arab civilization more sophisticated than their own. They brought back not just goods, silk, spices, sugar, but the words for those goods. Cotton comes from Arabic katun, satin from zeytun, named after the Chinese city of Zeytun, transmitted through Arabic trade. Lemon from lemun, orange from narang, coffee from kwahua. And then there were the trade routes. For centuries, Arab merchants dominated Mediterranean trade, connecting Europe to Asia and Africa. The vocabulary of commerce itself absorbed Arabic. Tariff, magazine, risk, possibly from Arabic, risk, meaning livelihood or provision. So here's what I find most fascinating about all of this. We think of languages as belonging to one culture. English is ours. French is theirs. Arabic is something else entirely. But that's not how language works. Every language is an archaeological site. Every word is a fossil from a civilization that touched ours. The Arabic inside English isn't a curiosity. It's evidence. It's proof that for centuries, the most important ideas in the world were being taught, written, and transmitted in Arabic. And when Europe needed those ideas, it didn't just take the knowledge, it took the language that carried it. Every time you say algebra in a math class, you're using a word coined by the 9th century Persian mathematician Al-Khwarizmi, who wrote in Arabic. Every time you say algorithm, you're saying a Latinized version of his name, Al-Khwarizmi. One man's name became the word for the foundation of all modern computing. That's not borrowing. That's a civilization leaving its fingerprints on every language it touched. We take our words for granted. We assume they've always been ours, but they haven't. They've traveled. They've crossed oceans and centuries and civilizations to reach your mouth. And the Arabic hiding inside English, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, and German? When you're learning any of these languages on AirLearn, count how many words you find that start with al. You'll be surprised. It's a reminder that the knowledge we take for granted was carried to us across continents, across centuries, in someone else's language, by scholars and merchants and translators who spoke a language most Europeans couldn't read. The next time you check the time using Arabic numerals, or read an algorithm named after an Arab mathematician, or put sugar in your coffee, both Arabic words, remember, you're speaking Arabic. You just didn't know it. See you in the next one.